So guys, welcome to ESL TV for a one-off super special here. As you may have noticed by the title of the show, we're going to talk a little bit about CSGO, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and actually I think we should talk a little bit about the story. Joining me, of course, is Bastian Veiser, the product manager of the ESL Pro Series. Basti, we literally arrived back in Cologne here like
2 hours ago. 2 hours ago.
Luckily for both of us, KLM decided not to give us our baggage, and it will hopefully be with us later in the day. So that was a little bit annoying to kick things off. But let's talk a little bit about, right from the very beginning. Basically, we got an invite from Valve, as did lots of other people, mainly Counter-Strike Source, professional players. You've already
25.
seen the team list. Yeah, 25 guys, a couple of guys from the community as well. So, we kind of had a bit of a mix there, but let's not be wrong about it. It was mainly Counter-Strike Source pros who were invited there. And Valve actually, got us all over there, put us up in a nice hotel in the Hyatt, close to their offices in Seattle, and gave us a chance to go through Counter-Strike Go, which actually we didn't know what we were going there for.
Yeah, it was top secret. I got an email 2 weeks ago, and it said, "You want to go to Valve to Seattle?" And I said, "Yes, I want to." And what's it about? It's Counter-Strike 2, probably. That's a guess. And actually, people had problems getting through customs because they didn't know what they want to do at the States. What are you here for? Work, and then they ask, "What do you want to do for work?" And I don't even know.
Yeah, if you've ever been to the US, from Europe or from anywhere else in the world, you'll know the kind of process. They kind of look at you like, so why are you here? They're like, well, Valve invited us. Why? To do something. Yeah, what? Well, we don't really know. Yeah. So in the end, we kind of talked our way into the USA and got the stamps in our passports and stuff like that. So it all worked out. In terms of who else was there, I'm sure you guys have already seen the list. It was basically a lot of a couple of German guys, Nuki from MTW, Hosser, of course, recently retired from MTW, Huds G, Weber from MTW, Wilzo, a few of the other English guys. We had Angel Dust from Finland. Just a whole host of guys. Torval obviously was one of the, or in fact the only American who managed to sneak his way there into the event. Obviously the owner of the former Team 3D and now with ESEA, obviously his project in there as well. So anyway, that's kind of the background story. We wanted to get that in there so everyone knew how it all kind of came around. Let's talk about what happened. I mean, we turned up there. We went to their offices and they said, we're not ready yet. We're not ready yet. Come back at
a little bit
later.
We had different emails with a starting time. I think mine said 10:30 or 10, and some players came up. It's no, it's 11, and then some people got called. No, it's 12, and we were just waiting forever. And actually, it was a Starbucks around the corner, and there was just players sitting and trying to get into the office. And every time they tried to get in, they said, "We're not ready. We're not ready. You can't do it."
Yeah, and in the end, they actually said, okay, we're going to take you out for dinner anyway, or for lunch, as it was, actually, at 12 o'clock. They took us for lunch. We got to meet a few of the guys from Valve there, some of the guys from Hidden Path as well, who obviously have been working most recently on Counter-Strike Source and on the beta that they're constantly pumping out and improving there. And we talked a little bit over dinner, and that's when we first found out what we're actually doing. We kind of sat down here. Hello, nice to meet you, Blot. Nice. How was your travel? How was your travel? What, all this kind of small talk crap.
Yeah.
And then someone, I don't know who it was like, so why are we here? And then that's when we found out about CSGO.
Because we didn't even know that we can actually play it. There was rumors that it's gonna be a concert, not even really playable.
Yeah.
But it was.
Yeah, it was. We got there and they had 20 PCs, actually 10 in each room. They sat us down in there. We kind of mixed up the teams a little bit and they said, okay, load up the game, connect to the server and just play for a little bit. Tell us what you think right from the get-go. And the first map we actually started off on was Dust.
It was Dust.
Obviously the old classic D Dust, not completely remade, but remade in a way that may kind of make it, a little bit more playable. We actually didn't sign. This is a question that came up a lot. how come you're allowed to talk about it? Normally these kind of things you have an NDA and it's like a super secret and all this. But actually, Valve said to us, you know, you're not under NDA here. You can talk about everything. The only thing we weren't allowed to do was take pictures or video from the in-game footage.
Unfortunately, because it's pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty. It's very nice looking. That's one thing that we can definitely say about the looks in terms of the maps. But yeah, Dust, they actually added a new walkway from the underpass area up onto the the bridge above it, where you could like the staircase around there.
Yeah, right in front of the sniper position.
Yeah.
Like the old school sniper position you would take in the deathmatch server, just camp off the whole time.
Yeah, and also they moved the T-spawn so that it wasn't so far away. It actually was, if you think about the old Dust, like up the steps, where
it was like on the ramp already. It was like on the ramp.
Already there, so they kind of moved the terrace a little bit closer, gave a couple of extra ways in and stuff like that. So yeah, Dust, nice, looks nice. Obviously, a big visual improvement they've given it as well.
Oh, yeah.
And we should probably point out that the discussions that we had, you saw a lot of comments that were most specifically aimed at day one. We should really point out that we went in there on day one. There were a lot of things that everyone said, this is not cool, this is not good, we change this, change that, change this. And they actually came out the second day, having worked all night with, I'd say, a completely different game.
It was like a new game. Like we don't know what actually like happened overnight, because like as you said, we just started playing, and it wasn't really good at all. It was like it seemed to be like a console port, which it was obviously kinda, and like the recall was bad. Like it didn't feel completely false, but like it wasn't good. And then we talked about like what we like to change, and like really detail too. Like I think they were like kind of impressed on how good we know the game too, even if we're not developers but just play a lot. And on the second day, no, they said actually it was a different version too. Like remember when it was Ref at the end of the Steam thing, and it was Rel on the second day. So they said they already had some changes that didn't make it in the version we played the first day.
On day one.
So we don't know like what they actually like changed to things we told them, or they already knew but couldn't like do before we actually started playing it. But since like how accurate their changes were to our suggestions, I would say they did a long like night shift.
Yeah, definitely. And just I have this list with lots of stuff on which we're probably not going to get through everything because we have been traveling for like 18 hours and we kind of rushed back in. We want to make this show as soon as possible when we get here. So that's kind of what we got going on. So yeah, the recoil system was something that was talked about a lot. The whole kind of burst fire double triple tap-in kind of thing didn't work. Like the first bullet was bang center, like perfect, and then the second bullet was somewhere over on the shoulder. We had so many times where two guys were sat down, kind of even crouched and aiming at each other, double tapping away, and it would take half an hour or something to kill each other. So that's something that didn't really change in day two. It changed slightly, but
they told us why. Like there's like right now in this like super pre-alpha, there is no difference in between tapping and holding. Yeah. So whenever you tap, it's gonna stack anyways, as if you would hold it.
So you can just hold it.
So like, basically, there's no point in tapping right now.
Yeah. What else do we have? Yeah, the game is built on the Portal 2 engine, which is obviously a slightly newer version of the Source engine. So there were a few comments with that one. We had a little bit of talk, obviously. A lot of people, hi Thorin, pointed out some stuff that, wow, why is Joe there, why is Torble there, things like that. But we didn't want to just go there with a set of players because I think it's important for an esports game that Valve really listen to things around the game as well. So obviously for me as a commentator, I wasn't giving so much input into the game. Obviously where I felt comfortable in terms of my knowledge, I could tell them, okay, we think this is wrong, and the players would back me up or say, no, you're wrong. That's fair enough. But for me, I gave them a whole big list of spectator functions that we want in there.
Like esport relevant stuff.
Esport relevant stuff. Health bars on the side built into the game. Multi-POV when it comes to Source TV, which actually they said Source TV or HLTV or any kind of TV client is not a priority to them. That was an interesting comment that came out from Valve.
Because they said they felt that nobody uses it.
They really didn't, I think, know how much people watch Source TV and HLTV. I think they kind of thought it was an unused
It was like a
feature
tool,
in
like
the
feature,
game.
yeah, which nobody really uses. Just
Yeah,
a
and
few.
we set them straight on that one and said, no, it's important, and you should really think about getting that in there right from the very start. So hopefully that comes along with the game as well. They already said that they wanted to get in a matchmaking system, which will be focused in kind of a solo mode and also 5v5.
Yeah.
Nothing in between as of yet, but that is planned. So basically what you'll get is a rating similar to what you'll get in League of Legends on, you know, your ELO rating. And that's going to rank you up on an individual basis as well, so you get match you know, accordingly to that, according to your skill level. But also, in terms of using Steam and the clan feature, that a clan will have its own elo, so you can actually, you know, play other teams on the same level as you. So for me, that's a great thing to add in for
they're even
public
gonna
play.
do restrictions too. Like they can't like just be a really good team and like bash like noobs.
Yeah.
They think they really want to make this really competitive, and like that's why they said this is a 5-on-5 based game, and it's nothing in between.
Yeah, really. They said it's either 1 when you're playing on your own or 5. You can't go with one other guy or 2 other guys and jump into that ELO system just yet, but they did say, you know, that may come out there. Also in day 1, the money system. On my list, I used the F word in terms of its current state after day 1.
You stayed poor forever.
But to be honest, yeah, it was really bad. Like, you lost a pistol round, and then you had to save for like 4 or 5 rounds, and then you lost again, and you really didn't buy anything until the end of the game.
Well,
it was completely broken.
Yeah, plus you would really want to buy the new Molotov cocktail, and like it's $8.50, and like whenever you bought it, you would have to say like I don't know, save another 2 rounds because you would get that less money. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Just to kind of talk about the money system, why it was a little bit broken, it's because Kevlar and helmet is free. That's their idea with this one. Everyone starts with Kevlar and helmet, which, you know, is a big debating point in my opinion. I think it should be there as something to buy. It adds so much more into the game. Also, another thing which, in my opinion, is completely wrong is the defuse kit. We didn't really notice that so much. Then we kind of talked about it like. So where's the defuse kit? And
no, there is one.
Yeah, there is one.
Just only
there's
one.
one per team, and when you play CT, you get one defuse kit, and it's randomly in your team. You can't swap it. You can't throw it to each other.
Like a
when you die, you can pick it up, but you can't throw it around. And 1 kit per team makes it a little bit strange for me there as well. There was something else in the money system.
I think they're trying out stuff too, like the whole Kevlar is free thingy. We talked a lot about that, and like even having like Kevlar and helmet separate. And I think they listened a lot. I'm almost sure that they're not gonna do this. Like that it's gonna be like an item you buy.
Yeah, I really hope so, because it does add, you know, a lot into
it's
there.
It's a tactical feature we want. Like, yeah.
Yeah, they shouldn't do that. They shouldn't have Kevlar.
Yeah, it was pretty controversial about that.
Yeah. The other point I have for day 1, the maps were a little bit more simplified. Nuke, they really kind of redesigned. The outside area, you know, by garage where you can go underground, was completely removed. When you go into the lower bomb site, you have no doors on the right-hand side whatsoever.
Yeah.
But you have a door on the left that goes to window, but just to window, no more. So there's nothing on the right-hand side when you walk down ramp into that lower site. And the left thing is really small, so, you know, it's easy to hold, but when they get in there, it's really easy to hold for the terrorists as well once you get the bomb down. So
this has really been like has to be tested in the beta phase, which is going to start in October, I think.
Yeah.
And we really like this has to be like tested out in like competitive games, because when we were there, we were trying to, but we didn't really manage to be all serious about it because it was just such a weird crowd of people. Like we had all kinds of people in our team, and they were just mixed up, and like you just like saw a brand new game, wanted to buy fun stuff. Yeah, so it didn't really was like a competition going on. So.
And what was the other one? Inferno, they removed Vietnam, as some people call it, the kind of tunnel underneath from middle and alt middle from just outside the T ramp, so that changed things there as well. They also took out the route from T spawn, where you can go directly to the left, but also you could, the whole area which was mostly used for people saving weapons, that was totally removed out of the game as well. We also heard, I'm just going to throw this out there because this is one of the most interesting map things we heard. We didn't get to play Train because it wasn't ready, but we also heard that they're going to completely remake Train and make it one bomb site only, which for me is not Counter-Strike anymore. It's going to make it some kind of campy deathmatch game. But I'll let you guys discuss that one amongst yourself because I've not really seen that posted anywhere. I'm not sure if that got out
I don't
there.
know. I don't know. Like maybe they said that to someone, and what was that?
Our TV seems to be
freaking out.
He's like, "What CS:GO?"
Yeah,
I don't want to be
probably
here.
gonna pop up like
That's
CS:GO
cool.
style.
Yeah, so
No,
that's
like
cool.
they really did a lot of changes on the maps. The maps like really cool. The whole game looks really crisp. It's like if you ever saw Portal 2, it looks like just as good. It's like really good, and all the maps were kind of foggy, and that's something that changed.
Yeah,
overnight.
that's something we had from day one. The kind of fog on the levels was really, really bad. Like even with the sniper rifle, you couldn't see,
you couldn't see
really far enough to make the sniper rifle actually any more, more viable than a rifle.
Well, the best example was like an Inferno where you go like fall to like second mid, and you want to like aim at the balcony. You couldn't see anything.
You couldn't see
like
past the window.
Yeah.
The window was like fogged off, and you couldn't see anything from the end of second mid. So,
but they removed that the second day on our suggestion, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the original update they actually planned on. That was like something
really
we told them to do.
The HUD, we noticed, like the buy menu, they said to us, actually, this is one of the things they said, the HUD is still the console version. The HUD is very much, not PC design. It's circle, and you just see that, it'd be a lot easier to navigate if you had the thumbstick actually to get around
They
there.
left the numbers in though, so you can if you don't mind, you just like fast buy like I do.
Yeah, and actually the numbers were pretty much the same. They added some new weapons. We should talk about that as well. The Molotov cocktail, which was a big talking point. Let's talk about that because a lot of people didn't quite know what it was. It actually is a kind of area of effect. Obviously, it explodes and it burns an area, a big area. We're talking like you can block off banana with one Molotov. You can block off pretty much any kind of hallway.
You can block any hallway in the game, like any hall. I don't know any hallway. Well, not outside nuke probably. You're gonna need two for that.
Yeah.
But if you go if you're a terrorist, you go right hand side from the red box.
Yeah, if you drop one at each side of the red box,
it's gonna be blocked.
You can't get through there. It doesn't do so much damage, but it does do damage over time. And the thing is, if you get shot while you're inside it, obviously your chances of surviving are pretty low. And it also slows you. The whole tagging thing, which you see like in the Deagle in Counter-Strike Source, and with most of the weapons or all the weapons in 1.6. And the other interesting thing is that you can actually stack them. So the damage is increased. So, if one area is burning, if you throw 5 in there, it's equivalent to 5 times the damage.
It doesn't ignite though.
It doesn't set you on fire or something.
As long as you're outside the grenade, if you step in, you get burned. If you step out, you're fine right the moment after.
Yeah.
It's it's actually, as more I think about it, it's like drowning in Half-Life. It's like being underwater, so it's going to choke you. That's what it does.
Yeah.
It's like drowning in Half-Life.
Clips your health and armor away.
Right.
The decoy grenade.
The decoy grenade, yeah.
Another grenade, obviously. And it's quite an interesting one. We were playing around with its usefulness, and we did find some useful points for it. Basically, what you do, you throw it down, and on the minimap, it shows the kind of red dot of where the enemy is that's firing. You hear the sound, and you see the flashes of the muzzle. So, if there's smoke there, and you hear the weapon going off, it could be useful in some situations. I mean, we saw it as, exactly that, as a decoy grenade where people were focusing their attention on looking at this grenade and someone shot them in the back or something like that.
It wasn't thought through yet, though. Remember, you could buy it in first round, but it would make an AK sound.
It was like 200 or something.
Yeah, I think it was
No. It made, the thing is, each one had 2 sounds. So it had the... the Glock and the AK sound for terrorists, and the USP and M4 sound for the CT. So yeah, it needed a bit of tweaking, but maybe it can be useful. I think that's something that would adapt like once the game comes out in more general play, or once we get into beta. The other thing I was going to talk about, the M4, no silencer at all.
Yeah, there were no silencers and any weapon, right?
No, there weren't.
There were no.
The only two weapons were the AUG and the SIG, which have the kind of the second function slight zoom in that you have. The Scout, or its equivalent now, felt quite powerful. I thought.
Well, like it was. It really was powerful. Like it had. I think if you had like a legit body hit, not arm anything, it would still like almost kill you or kill you. I don't even know. The overall. Well, that's before I say that. Let's just put out that the Scout was increased. The HE grenade.
Yeah, we had a problem with the HE grenade on day one where you'd get hit. HE landing on you, so maximum damage, left you with like 3 HP and 96 armor.
Yeah, but
96.
Actually, it would kill you, but it would it would either kill you or leave you with like 3 HP and like 96 armor.
Yeah. So we told them, okay, it needs to take armor away as well and kind of balance out a bit. And the second day we came there and it actually took away like no health and all your armor.
Yeah, well, they kind of figured out they're gonna do completely reverse, so we like clear about what we're talking about. They're gonna adjust that probably.
Yeah. So the HE grenade was broken on both days, but that's something they know about and that they're gonna fix. What else do we have here?
Yeah, the overall
list?
weapon increase. Like they had the argument that they actually wanted to make all the weapons useful. And that's a big deal too, right?
Yeah, we had this big discussion as to, a lot of the players are saying AK-M4, the recoil's wrong, the power's not right, the distance isn't right. And Valve's idea was in Counter-Strike, in both instances of Counter-Strike, we have this very basic weapon set. The Galil FAMAS AK-M4.
Deagle, that's it.
Yeah, obviously your Deagle, and then you've got your AWP as well. But they wanted to add more SMG play and things like this. So what they did was kind of bring the rifles down, which my point, actually, this is one of my points, was why are you even touching the AK and M4? Leave them as they are. Bring everything else a little bit stronger. The P90 both days was actually the weapon of choice. It cost $2,000, and it was absolutely friggin' awesome. Close range, long range,
doesn't even matter.
Everything. P90 was king. So yeah, I think P90, they know about that as well. The balance of the P90 definitely needs changing somewhat. It was slightly messed up in that one.
Remember the taser?
And the taser, another new weapon, another new addition. It's actually a one-shot kill, which obviously tasers are if you've got a really bad heart. Yeah, that was a weird one. We had some situations. I think it was Angel Dust who really kind of perfected it, rushing into carpeted hallways on Inferno, threw a smoke in there and just ran through it with a taser.
Just tasering.
And then just fired the taser off. Its accuracy was kind of strange, like. It was supposed to only kill you when it hits you, but it kind of was like if it hit anyone.
I think it
just if you were in view,
yeah.
If you were in view and you fired a taser, generally that person died. We talked about that. The taser was really damn expensive, like $1,000 anyway.
Yeah.
And we talked about that, and we also one of my suggestions was getting rid of knife rounds and having taser rounds, because that would be cool.
Be fun, yeah.
Actually, the first time I bought a taser, I fired it, and then I was like, it just threw it down because it's one use. I was like, oh god, $1,000. I was expecting a little bit more than that. Yeah. But it's kind of like knife is like, if you can call it 1 unit in terms of the closeness that it kills. A taser is like 3, I guess. So it's kind of like a longer range knife somehow.
I guess.
The idea, because we've got these two modes, which we should touch on again, I think this is covered publicly as well. They have developed the whole competitive mode and casual mode.
Right.
And a lot of the players, and rightly so, pointed out, casual mode, you can put all kinds of crazy crap in there. You can have a knife, then a sword, then a longer sword, then an even longer sword with knives on it.
Right.
And, you know, it doesn't really matter because the more you have, it's just fun. But for the competitive stuff, those weapons have to be balanced. So yeah, I'm not sure whether they're going to do a bit of balancing in terms of the two game modes. I think they probably will end up doing that and making things, fun. The casual mode, really just that, and the competitive mode that little bit extra.
That just only makes sense, like, because if it's something crazy, it's just gonna be banned in like league rules, like in the ESL and stuff like that. Like when in 1.6 the shield came out, like the riot shield was like what's the point of that? It's gonna ban it.
Yeah. A lot of people asked about the movement. Bunny hopping was not possible. In certain places, it seemed possible. I'm not sure.
You could do it like once or twice at like certain surfaces.
Yeah, right. It was really heavily restricted. Actually, I'd say in terms of movement, the game was still very Counter-Strike sourced. The only thing that for me differed a little bit was the crouch timing. Was slightly different in terms of how long it takes you to crouch, but also when you jump, there's kind of like a realistic, like you jump in the air, and when you land, you kind of land down a bit, so you like the knees bend, and then you're up again.
Duck. It's like a quarter duck. You do like you land and
But it's actually barely noticeable unless you really.
Well, it was noticeable because of the crosshair. That's how I know, because they had a crosshair which was like a square, and then there was a square in it, and then there was a crosser in the middle,
and a dot in the middle.
Yeah, and
the crosshair was like some really weird beta.
Well, it actually showed
crosshair.
The accuracy you're gonna have the moment. Like like in all the Counter Strikes, it's like crosshairs like this, like moving in and out together. We had this crosshair, and then there was another crosshair around, and then it was a dot, and the dot was I think on the second day it was gone, only left on the knife, and the dot was off too. It was like a weird thing. And actually, the players noticed that you look in all the Counter Strikes, you look through your left eye. Was it left eye?
Yeah.
And so you have like when you like staring at a wall and the other guys from the other side, and you have an advantage, can kind of depending on what side you are. They're probably gonna like center the whole thing,
center the vision, because sometimes you figured you were behind a wall when actually your model was arm hanging
Joe
out.
got headshot. No, actually you got shot by a Magnum.
Yeah, I got pretty much destroyed quite a lot on the second day. That's why I knew it was getting better on the second day, because I wasn't doing as well.
That was horrible.
And to touch on the reason why Counter-Strike Source players got invited, for me personally, I would have liked to definitely 100% see a bunch of 1.6 players in there as well. Absolutely no doubt from me for that one. Obviously, we were invited. We didn't do the invites. I would have liked to see those 1.6 players there.
Well, the thing is, they also wanted to talk about the beta, like the
CSS
beta.
That was my point there. Is probably why they had so much in terms of Counter-Strike Source, is that Hidden Path is still developing Counter-Strike Source, still working on the beta in that. And actually, right now they are at the event. They wanted to talk about it as well. So I guess half almost of the second day was spent talking about Counter-Strike Source and how it is now, and what they want changing in there. I kind of turned my ears off to that one, because that was, for me, obviously the spectator changes and stuff like that I really kind of was pushing for both games. So yeah, that's probably why a lot of Counter-Strike Source players were there.
Well, it's definitely going to be the reason, because there's like no, they just said like if they all fly, all these, it was 25 people flying in from all over the world, you might as well like use it for your second product, which you have a big update coming in. And everybody who downloaded the beta yet, if you're not, just go in. It's like a big update. It's like it's like huge things to change.
The Source beta, by the way. Don't get your hopes up for CS:GO just yet. That's not coming just yet. They also showed us the recent thing that was added to TF2, the kind of movie making demo replay saving function, which will make it easier to make movies in Counter-Strike Source. If you've not seen that, you should check it out on TF2. It is coming. I heard he said in the coming weeks to Counter-Strike Source, to the beta on Steam.
It's like foolproof.
So yeah, it's an easy way to make movies. What have I got there? That's just new additions to the maps. But yeah, I mean, the whole point of the show maybe was to give you some
feedback.
Not really some
feedback.
feedback, but just some things that you might not have read on other sites. So, you know, if you've not learned anything from this one, then you've probably been reading like a hardcore maniac and like, okay, I've got all these points and I know exactly what's going on. But
Well, there's barely any information from Valve. That's the major point. Like when
there's no information. The press release was like a Facebook update almost.
It's like I wish I could like put my brain and like just publicly so everybody can like scan through, because I really like as we talk, I remember stuff like the taser and like how much damage the HE grenade did, and like how much money like guns were overall. It was cheaper on the SMGs and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just like random stuff which comes in my mind right now.
Yeah, I mean, I made a list here in like 10 minutes of just full page. So, you know, guys, if you have any questions, we're not going to keep going too long because, like Basti said, we have been awake for like almost a day and a half or something. Yeah. We don't have any luggage. We've got no clean clothes. We did get these. By the way, we did get these Counter-Strike Go hoodies, courtesy of Valve as well. So we
got hoodies, nice we got shirts. Actually, we got mugs. I
left my mug actually because I didn't have enough room.
Why would you do that? Why would you leave it back?
Yeah, because I bought a new laptop and I needed the room for the box. USA, cheap stuff. I love it. But yeah, if you've got any questions, you can see there on your screen. Follow us on Twitter. You can ask us whatever questions you want. We'll try to answer anything. Like we said before, we're not under an NDA. We can answer anything that we physically know about. So if we know it, we can answer it for you. So Joe_Miller and Bastian Veiser are the people that you want to ask questions to us to. If you've got any more questions for that one. But yeah, we wanted to keep it kind of short and sweet. Just throw out as much knowledge as we could remember after such a long and painful day of traveling. Don't forget, Gamescom, of course, is coming up this week, live on ESL TV. Make sure you get your HD passes because they are going like lightning, and the event starts in just 2 days' time. We've got so much preparation to do. Actually, it would have been better if I didn't go to Seattle and actually did some work for Gamescom. But whatever, I'm going to do a hard day today and tomorrow and be prepared for that one. So yeah, if you've got any questions, don't forget, guys, follow us on Twitter. Make sure you give us those questions, and we'll try to answer whatever we've got. So until CS:GO comes out in beta, hopefully we can do a show about it then when it actually comes out, and we can show some stuff.
And maybe like give out a key.
And maybe give out some keys, maybe give out some cool stuff like that. And also, I think most people are interested in actually seeing a game between two teams, maybe a 1.6 and a Source team. So, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, Counter-Strike Go will be the next big thing in Counter-Strike. A lot of people have asked the same question. Is Counter-Strike Go the replacement for 1.6? My opinion is no. It's not going to be the replacement for 1.6, and I don't think it's going to be a replacement for Source. I think it's going to be a new game completely.
It's going to be a new game. You are honest on that, but on the other hand side, me as a hardcore 1.6 fan, it's been too long. It's been too long. Like I'm definitely going to switch on that. Like if this turns out, if they actually keep up doing what they did, I'm going to switch. I'm pretty sure a lot of CSS players are going to switch too.
Right. I know what you mean in that it's been too long for 1.6. We've had so many games come out and disappoint where everyone's like, nah, not going to bother. Counter-Strike Source is actually a very different game now to what it was. So I urge everyone actually to give it a go because, as we know, Counter-Strike 1.6 is definitely not dead by any means, but it's starting to slip away. We're seeing the signs of it, and we all love Counter-Strike. So make sure you give it a go when you can. Support 1.6, support Source, play the beta for Source, keep playing 1.6, keep supporting all the tournaments that are out there, and yeah, make sure that Counter-Strike keeps on living because these StarCraft 2 guys are getting all the limelight, and we need to win some of it back. So
we really do.
Yeah, we really do. Basti, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Try not to fall asleep at work. I'm probably just going to have a nap at my desk for a couple of hours here. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, questions on Twitter, whatever you want to ask. Actually, I'm wearing black underwear today, so we get that one out straight away.
And it's the only underwear we have left.
Yeah, and it's the only underwear I actually own right now because the rest is stuck somewhere in Amsterdam or something like that. So fingers crossed we get that back. And we'll see you at Gamescom.